What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at this week's edition of Smackdown, as well as the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including Paul Heyman hiding the real truth, why CM Punk is joining up with Roman Reigns, Triple H addresses the huge Netflix problem, a spoiler for Survivor Series, is a former star returning to WWE, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new videos on Wrestlelamia XL. As always, we won't recap the matches, but just look at the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. As always, we start off with the good, as number 1, Paul Heyman is back. Why did Paul Heyman turn off his phone? What led to the wise man finally finding a fifth teammate for Roman Reigns? These and other questions will likely be addressed down the road, but for now, the only thing that matters is that Roman Reigns' tribal council is back by his side, arguably when he needs him the most. Heyman's return was a classic case of the right place at the right time, and it added even more excitement to Survivor Series' big bout between the two versions of the Bloodline. Number 2, who is the fifth man? The WWE threw fans a curveball when Paul Heyman returned and introduced CM Punk as Roman and Company's teammate for War Games. The pick makes sense given Punk and Paul Heyman's storyline relationship and real-life friendship. Indeed, Punk made it clear on Smackdown that he's in the match because of Heyman and not because of Roman. Even better, the WWE didn't run a convoluted storyline to force Seth Rollins into a match with someone that is Roman and he can't stand. Number 3, Montez vs Ciampa Sizzler. Last night's Match of the Night award goes to Montez Ford vs Tommaso Ciampa, a bout that sizzled from start to very finish. The match forwarded Ciampa's breakdown and looming split with Johnny Gargano, while also delivering a high-quality match. The only downside to last night's fight was that it reminded too many fans of how the WWE has wasted Montez Ford's potential as a single superstar. Number 4, Jade Cargill Mystery. Who shoved Jade Cargill off the loading dock, injuring Jade so badly that she's now out of next week's Survivor Series War Games match? It's definitely a mystery to keep fans speculating and tuning into WWE TV, and an example of how the WWE uses suspense and mystery to entertain its fans. Number 5, another strong Cody promo. KO hates himself. On paper, Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens' promo was nothing more than filler, as the WWE doesn't have the time to put them into a match yet at a prominent event, particularly Survivor Series. However, Cody did what he always does with promos: over-deliver. Last night, Rhodes called out KO for his selfishness and lying to himself and his fans. While KO tried to put the blame for his actions on Cody's alliance with Roman, Rhodes responded that Owens is his own worst enemy and only has himself to blame for his shortcomings. Some painful words that added some sizzle to their program. And big W for Team Chelsea Green. Is Chelsea Green going to become the inaugural United States Women's Champion? It's too early to tell, but Green advancing to the next round was clearly a crowd pleaser, and hopefully WWE knows what a good thing they have with her. Chelsea's captivating personality, which is on the surface annoying but so cleverly executed that it's actually endearing, and her in-ring talents make her a great choice for a title win and a subsequent push. But that was good. What about the bad? Is number 1, Tiffany and Candice spiral continues. Now, we've documented Tiffany Stratton's descent from a new star with a rocket strapped to her back to someone now saddled with the WWE's resident albatross, aka Nia Jax. Well, as bad as that is, Stratton now finds herself teaming with Candice LeRae, who is dragging Miss Money in the Bank down further with their tag team. Wrestling's Poison Pixie is a good worker, but she's clearly being used as a supporting player at best, which invites the question whether Stratton is now seen as someone on the same level. Now, with all due respect to Candice LeRae, Stratton is already head and shoulders above her and shouldn't be in the ring with Candice unless she's squashing her. And the Women's War Games match gets a little weaker. This year's Women's War Games match continues to get weaker, with some fans now questioning whether the WWE needs it or feels obligated to give the ladies a War Games match. Sadly, there's truth to these complaints, because other than Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, the rest of the competitors could be anyone, and the fans wouldn't even care. Now, there was nothing downright ugly, a strong build for War Games, and an overall very entertaining show. In fact, this was probably one of the best booked Triple H shows of its time. The WWE Universe probably didn't need another LA Knight vs Santos Escobar match, but it was just a pretext for Shinsuke Nakamura's latest attack on the US champion, something that they're doing a really good job with. But what do you guys think of the Blue Brand last night? Let us know in the comments down below. Now let's move on to the news. Now, first story looks at why CM Punk is joining Roman Reigns. At top of today's news are the potential reasons for CM Punk joining forces with Roman Reigns at War Games. As mentioned in the Good, Bad and Ugly, the storyline reason is Punk's friendship with Paul Heyman, but rumor has it that Punk's decision to align himself with Roman Reigns will be used when Punk and Seth Rollins finally fight each other. Wrestling news source WRKD tweeted about the situation, saying that CM Punk joining Team OG Bloodline will be used as fuel in the Rollins-Punk feud in the future, with Punk citing that he stepped up to help when Rollins didn't, still heading toward that Mania match. Fans and industry observers have their theories. This one actually makes sense. Next up is Paul Heyman hiding the real truth. Is Roman Reigns about to be betrayed again? A PW insider reported prior to last night's Smackdown that fans should expect some major developments in the Roman Reigns-Paul Heyman relationship, but there may even be more to it than what took place last night at Smackdown. Reigns is still dealing with the powerfulness of the Bloodline 2.0, but he may have to deal with another stab in the back. Many believe that Heyman is ready to stab that knife right in the back of Reigns again. Now, there could be many reasons for Heyman turning on Reigns, including Paul's history of selling out clients and the mysterious wink Heyman made to Jimmy Uso during the match. In addition, fans made some noticeable observations, that being Paul Heyman wearing Solo Sikoa's colors, which seemed like an incredible coincidence. When have you ever seen Paul Heyman in a red shirt with a red pocket handkerchief? These are colors that the wise man has never been shown in, yet upon his return he comes out in that? Fans always know that Paul Heyman is always one step ahead of the game, and is this a subtle way of showing that he's not all there for Roman Reigns? Michael Cole harkened back to the infamous angle where Ole Anderson teamed with Dusty Rhodes in a cage only to betray Rhodes, resulting in a brutal beatdown for the American Dream. If you're unfamiliar with the storyline, the gist of it was that Ole, who formerly feuded with Rhodes, waited a year to win Dusty's trust before betraying him. Some fans believe that Roman is in for a rude awakening come War Games. Granted, while the matching colors could just be a stretch and Paul Heyman was trying out a new wardrobe, the WWE Universe knows that WWE loves to reward fans with just small hints and small details, so these observations can't be dismissed outright. What do you guys think? Next up, it's not over. Keep an eye out for more developments involving Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman's relationship, at least according to a new report from PW Insider. Not only are there rumors that Heyman will betray Reigns, but other rumors suggest that Heyman will return to manage CM Punk, leaving Roman in the cold. Next up, a Survivor Series spoiler. Now it's time for a spoiler on the Women's Survivor Series match, so if you're allergic to spoilers, please head to our next story. We always have the timestamps in the description. Now, the shocking backstage attack on Jade Cargill on Smackdown means that Rhea Ripley and company need a fifth partner, but who will actually answer the call? Thankfully, fans won't have to wait until Survivor Series as WWE taped the 29th November Smackdown, revealing Jade's replacement. WrestleTalk reported on what happened during the taping for next week's Blue Brand, including the Women's War Games segment. Bianca Belair, Naomi, Bayley, Io Sky, and Rhea Ripley came out to hype up War Games. Then Liv Morgan, Nia Jax, Raquel Rodriguez, Tiffany Stratton, and Candice LeRae came out to stir up dissension, saying it's funny that Jade got attacked and now Bayley is on the team. All 10 women start fighting until the security and agents run out to break them up. What do you guys think of Bayley's addition to the team? Do you think that's who really attacked Jade? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, Triple H addresses Netflix's huge problem. Last week's Mike Tyson vs Jake Paul fight on Netflix had some serious buffering issues, as around 60 million viewers tuned in only to have trouble accessing the fight. Now, these technical difficulties have some WWE fans wondering what will happen when Raw debuts on Netflix. Will they be incurring the same problems? Or Triple H is aware of the fans' concerns, but his answer actually may surprise you. As he mentioned, if our first night buffers and they come in and say it was 60 to 70 million households watching, I'll be good with the buffering. Do you think that many will tune in? Let us know in the comments. Next up, WWE announces a grudge match for Raw. Batten down the hatches because Intercontinental Champion Bron Breakker will face Ludwig Kaiser on this coming Monday's Raw. Ringside News noted that WWE announced the match during a commercial break on SmackDown, and that it's an ideal follow-up to the last week's Raw where Kaiser interrupted the Sheamus vs Breakker bout. Although this match is reportedly a non-title match, a win over Breakker could add momentum to Kaiser's career and even an eventual title shot. Kaiser seemed more focused than ever after Gunther gave him a pep talk about being his own man, which has fans questioning if the WWE plans to push Kaiser. And finally, is former WWE star Maven talking about a WWE return? And last but not least, is former superstar Maven, aka Maven Huffman, interested in returning. Maven, who earned a WWE contract after winning the first season of Tough Enough, worked from 2001 until 2005. He then later worked in TNA Wrestling and on the indie scene, and currently runs a very popular YouTube channel where he discusses his time in the WWE. Well, the 47-year-old former superstar recently discussed whether he'd return to the WWE, informing fans he's wary given his age and he'd have to have guaranteed income, especially if he was hurt. Although he feels he has something to offer given his experience, Maven discussed the WWE's interest in him or lack of thereof. Huffman noted he heard rumors Triple H isn't interested in Maven returning, and when the subject of Maven's return was approached, it was quickly shut down. Would you guys like to ever see Maven back in the company? Let us know in the comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.